these.
Maybe Coors Light will be a sponsor.
Yeah, maybe. These are the Trick Vipertricks.
Vipertricks. It's really small.
Right.
So
They're 100 grain though. First off the bat, as usual, is the 80-pound Hoyt with the 650 grain arrow, and it really is 650 grains this time because we're shooting 100 grain broadhead. Trick Vipertricks. All right, as usual, bulk of the knuckle, where I believe it to be. Definitely hit solid bone. I guess we're gonna shoot my wife's 50-pound bow. 50 pounds, 26.5 draw length. Oops. With the
arrow weight.
Serious Apollos, we're at a 463. That buried fletching's deep, so I'm guessing it missed bone, which is weird. I might have glanced. 65-pound Bowtech Icon with a 332 grain arrow, I think it was, 332, so light arrow. No FOC, no collar, no front weight except for the broadhead itself. That hit bone. All right, let's go look at those. As usual, no penetration on this one here. Tell you what though, those ones left some huge cutting holes. Goodness. In the hide. Those Slick Tricks leave a huge hole in the hide. That's pretty impressive. All right, pull this off. This one looks to be, you can see the ballistic shell split open nicely with a 4-blade. That's not coming out. We're just gonna have to thread it out and pull it out later. Okay. The 80-pound Hoyt definitely went through bone. Through the bulk of the bone there. This is some of the best ballistic shell we've had. And got very nice cutting. That's one thing we can say about these.
It'd be easier to just...
Yeah, it's definitely through bone because I cannot pull that back. Maybe let's get a shot of the back because yours looks like it just glanced bone on the Bowtech.
So just pull it forward.
Yep, we'll pull it forward so you can kind of see here. This is my wife's. This ballistic shell is really nice this time. This is mine, the 80-pound Hoyt. Definitely went through bone. Looks like it marred that tip up pretty good. But otherwise, blades are pretty good. Ooh, ferrule is bent very bad. It is bent right over. So that one is unshootable. The whole ferrule is bent. Get that. What a difference that it makes, you know, with them big 2 blades. Those big 2 blades were just blowing right through the bone, you know, and even if they glanced, they would just take a big chunk out of the bone. These ones definitely are hitting and deflecting. Oh, no, it did hit. Look at that. That blade has a huge mar on it. So it definitely hit bone, which I thought that it did, but it just deflected to the side and kept going though. That's good. I mean, hit bone, kept going, went through the elk. So, I mean, it would have killed an elk, even hitting the bone. It didn't break the blade hitting the bone. It just took I mean, it's not sharp anymore. It's very, that whole blade is very, very dull. It rounded it right off. Otherwise, rest of the blades are still sharp. Not as sharp as what some of those other broadheads are. Those are actually pretty dull. Next up, the Magnums. Stainless steel. These are the pros. So it's the full stainless steel. And this is the 1.1/8" cut 4-blade. Slick Trick Magnums. These are 125 grain. So these ones put us back up to a 676 grain arrow, I believe it is. And out of the 80-pound Hoyt, big cutting diameter, 4-blade. We're gonna see what this thing can do. Definitely hit bone. Next up, we'll keep it in order. My wife's 50-pound Bowtech. Same thing. I can see the arrows cocked to the side. All right, now the light setup on a 65-pound Bowtech Icon. Man, those definitely do not do anything. Okay. Pull this off. We only got one more broadhead to shoot after this, so let's
Look. Oh, you want to look at the hide? Some pretty decent sized holes.
Wow, big holes. That tore it up.
Yeah.
Huge holes.
I like that cutting diameter.
Yeah, that'd be great for whitetail.
Yeah.
All right, this one feels really nothing. Bent ferrule. Kind of seems to be what we're seeing. Bent ferrule, marred tip.
Definitely hit bone.
Blades are all dull. Definitely hit bone and completely destroyed that broadhead.
Think we can return them?
This one glanced off bone. There he is. Both of the 80-pound Hoyt and the Bowtech, 50-pound Bowtech, glanced off bone. Also, even the ones that are just glancing, if you've noticed, unlike the big 2 blades, they're stopping, you know, in the first target. So, hit almost the same spot with this one as I did the first one with yours. Broadhead is loose. I don't see any marks in the blades. That one's got some chips out of it. That one's dull. That one must have been the one that hit the exact same spot, probably caught. See it? Do you see how the same thing? They're hitting the front of this bone and they're deflecting. Like this one deflected this way and this one deflected this way.
Arrows?
Both? Yeah. Look at the arrows.
Are crisscrossing.
I'm shooting from the same spot. These arrows are just deflecting off the bone. They're not sticking in the bone. They're not taking chunks out of the bone like the big 2 blades and the ones that we were shooting earlier. These are just hitting bone and going sideways. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. The 80-pound Hoyt, same thing. Broadhead or blades are fairly sharp on this one. Tip still looks good. So this whole area is all bone. We're just hitting it and deflecting. Yeah, because I can't pull that back out of there. So it's definitely, you know, catching the side of bone. But we're not breaking blades, so I mean, that's good. Let's pull these out and we'll go shoot the Exodus, which I'm pretty excited about. All right, we now are shooting the QAD Exodus. These things are always in the top of almost all the tests that are done. They penetrate really well. They are extremely durable. So we're gonna throw them into some elk hide and elk and beef bone and see if they can do the same here on this test. Guys, remember this is, we're mainly doing, this is like a durability test. So we wanna see if these heads can hold up to the abuse of a lifelike situation of hitting bone on a real hide meat, which is ballistic gel, and bone. You know, we're not shooting them into car doors and stuff like that because these blades are not designed, this metal is not designed to cut that kind of stuff. So we want to see, you know, are they going to break when you shoot them into actual bone? You know, this bone is definitely not meant to be sending broadheads through because it's so dense and so thick. So we'll do a penetration test with the top 10 probably top 5 or top 10, we're not sure. We'll do a penetration test, and we'll shoot that through some shoulder blades, where we'll see how much penetration can we get when shot through a shoulder blade. All right, 100 grain.
But guess we gotta do it.
All right, you can see it's getting dark on us, so we gotta hurry this up. We have 650 grain arrow with an Exodus, QAD Exodus, and 80-pound weight. That one definitely hit solid bone. All right, now we have my wife's 50-pound bow. Getting dark on us. Definitely hit solid bone. Putting these Exodus to the test. Light arrow, 336 grains. 32 grains, somewhere in there. Out of a 65-pound Bowtech Icon. QAD Exodus. Did you see that? Holy cow.
Huh?
All right, caught just the top with yours. Ooh. Once again, with the 330 grain arrow, pulled the blade out. Oh, wow. That blade is donezo. Yeah, that's toast. Can you see that? I'll go over on a close-up.
Yeah.
That's out of the 65-pound Bowtech Icon. Not a speedbow, not shooting super fast, and it destroyed that blade. And it bounced. I don't know if you've seen it, but I just pulled it out. It was in the hide. It bounced out. So we'll pull this off. These Exodus broadheads are making some nice big triangular cuts. We're getting lots of cuts in here, but they're cutting very well. There's a nice 3-blade. Just as good as the Slick Tricks. This is solid, so we are gonna get to, oh, look at this. I can pull this one out, actually. Not as good a penetration. I mean, it's in the bone.
Don't cut your finger.
Oh, I know, right? Look at this one here. My wife's caught the top of the bone. Caught the top of the bone and deflected. Look at the broadhead here. Ooh, I can hear the bone cracking. It definitely caught bone. All the blades are, oop, that one's dull. That blade there caught. Tip is super sharp yet. Caught the top of that bone. You can see in the back there. Very nice cut though. I mean, that's a nice slice through there, 3-blade slice through the top of that bone there. It's like a caught bone with 1 blade. All right, so we just dug that 650 grain arrow out of the 80-pound Hoyt out of the bone. This was the Exodus, and that ferrule seems to be bent. I can put it on a spinner, but I can see it. It's definitely bent. So the ferrule's bent slightly, but honestly, the blades are all still intact. They're still sharp, which is, ooh, not up top. Never mind. They're super dull up top where they went into the bone, but they just crushed that bone. But I think out of the 3 we shot tonight, this Exodus definitely shot better than the Slick Tricks as far as durability. All right, guys, we just got done digging that this Slick Trick Vipertrick out of the bone. It wasn't quite buried all the way to the end of the blades. You can actually kind of see, let's get it over here. You can see right where the blade deformation stops. That's about how much penetration it had in the bone. Completely just destroyed it. Sorry, let me get some good background here. Ferrule is completely bent over. Tip is completely bent over. Blades are bent. Every one of them are dull. A quick review. Vipertricks or Vipertricks. we had this one smashed into a bone. Bent, tip, marred up, just destroyed. This one shot into a bone. Destroyed. This one was a glance, and you can see the blade. Look at the blade on the right side. Now the left. Caught that bone, dulled it up, and it sent it to the side. Deflected. Still probably would have killed something, but it deflected off the bone. The Magnums did actually a lot better. This one hit solid bone, bent the ferrule, blades are all dull up top, tips marred over. This one was a deflect, but one of these blades is bent to the side, that one there. So that one, you can see the blade is bent to the side slightly. The gap there is closer between those two blades than those two. But it held up pretty well. Same thing with this one, it was a glance. I don't see anything. Blades are not crazy sharp, but not dull. Exodus. This was my wife's, which was a deflect. It hit the edge. This was out of my wife's bow. The Exodus deflected. One of these blades has a dull spot on it, I remember. But other than that, it's in pretty good condition. This is out of the 80-pound Hoyt. Smashed into bone. We got some bent blades there, you can see. Dull, but still held together. I mean, that's impressive, because it left a huge hole in that bone, but did not have very good penetration. I think into the bone, it only penetrated about that far. This was out of the 332 grain arrow and the 65 grain Hoyt, so, or Bowtech. So this one wasn't very fair, because I thought it just caught bone. What happened was, this is the one that we seen the sparks. This broadhead right here caught this Vipertrick right here. Right there, actually. You can see it on the bottom of the ferrule there. It caught there, and that blade. That's what caused that. So other than that, I mean, it destroyed the tip of the arrow and everything. But otherwise, it has sharp blades yet. So I think that one was kind of a dud because we hit another broadhead. So they did all right. They held up. They don't, I mean, I wouldn't try to send them through bone because they're not blowing through bone, but they definitely won't break from hitting bone. That's for sure. So that's our close-up. Man, you just don't hit bone because they do not hold up. I mean, they don't hold up like the last 5 premium heads that we shot. That's for sure. They seem to glance well. I mean, if you catch, that was one thing with these 4 blades. If you caught the edge of a bone, the big 2 blades wanted to just rip a chunk out of that bone, causing it to slow penetration down a little bit. But these 4 blades, Slick Tricks and the Exodus, if you just glanced, it would keep going. It would keep going into the bone, or into the rest of the target, through the rest of the ballistic shell and into the target in the back. So, I mean, if you glanced off bone, you're probably going to play it safe. You're just going to have a pretty rough looking broadhead. As of right now, for our durability test, if you're looking for something that's going to last, I mean, if you hit a bone, you want it to stay sharp and stay driving through. As of now, it's looking like those premium 2-blade heads are the route you need to go. Right now, my opinion, and this is just opinion, you guys can make your opinion off the videos, but there's a strong 2 first and second. That's the Valkyries and the Iron Wills. I just had a conversation tonight about it, and I think for sure Valkyrie's in the lead. Their blade retention is absolutely insane. Penetration wise, that's not really what we're looking for here. It's cool to see what they'll do, but penetration is not, I mean, the bone is so different, you know, where each head is hitting. But the Valkyries are 150 grain broadhead, but that's not going to change, you know, how well the edge retention is, or how well, whether you think it's heavier, that it would actually break the broadhead faster, and it's not. The broadheads they're almost brand new, apart from one out of the 80-pound Hoyt that I shot twice into the bone, twice. And it's still razor sharp, with a razor sharp tip, but the back of the blade broke and bent to the side. But the broadhead still looks, if you didn't say that, I think you would still look at the broadhead like, oh yeah, it's still in good condition. But it has one broken blade. But anyway, Valkyrie, I think, is number one as of right now for our durability. Iron Wills in a strong second, coming right behind there. The only thing with the Iron Wills is when they were drove deep into bone, the tip marred. And either marred or chipped off. I can't tell which. But if it wasn't for that, Iron Will would be right up neck and neck with Valkyries. But so that's kind of where we're at for right now. We have a ton more broadheads. We have a ton. So we'll see tomorrow night. We'll see what we're flinging, but we're going to test some more. I got to get videos uploaded. I'm running out of storage on my phone, so this is difficult. But stay tuned. We're going to keep crushing some broadheads. And again, with this video, we're going to do it again. Like, tag an elk hunting buddy, and share the video, and you are going to win a My Topo map. Free map. Anywhere you want. Your home state and out west. We use them for e-scouting for out west. So they're a great product. We're not endorsed by them. We're just giving these away for free. So, all right, guys, stay tuned.